Good morning, friends. Um, had a long conversation last night with a good friend of mine who reminded me of some things. Um, so I titled this one "The Reason Why." There's a couple reasons why. Um, the first part I'm going to talk about is my child's father. He is my middle daughter, Jada, her father. Um, I know I have a lot of friends who have looked at him like the enemy, the devil. Um, and I said yesterday, well, I've always said it. He and I have both um, really done things to each other where there's no like innocence on either side at all. I know that I can only explain the love on both sides as growth. We started out, both of us, in a place coming from, both of us had two failed marriages when we met. And, we came into a relationship where we were damaged. We were damaged goods. Um, we both had these two failed marriages. We both had a child from previous marriages. We both, you know, didn't know how to love. We didn't know how to love each other. All we knew was what we had. And while some people fight and push through, I pushed him away a lot. Like, I can't emphasize how much I pushed him away. I remember one time, I mean, just to show you how toxic I was, he said, he was asking me to move in with him, and he was like, why do you keep walking away from me? Like, and I was like, I'm not talking about this. I don't want to move in with you. I don't want to live with you. And he kept saying, like, I don't understand why. He was trying, from his perspective, financially, it would have made more sense for the two of us to live together. Financially, I was in the process of leaving and going through a bunch of stuff. And so he was like, you know, if we just joined our houses, then we wouldn't have to separate. We wouldn't have to break apart. We wouldn't have to move to two different states. We could just, even if it was for a short term, he was saying, let's just move in together to get things set up and get things figured out. And I turned around and I got in his face and I said, when are you going to understand that you're an accessory, not a necessity? I don't need you. I said, you're like a good pair of shoes to an outfit, like a belt. That's what I said to him. And he took a step back and just went, wow, like, wow. So that's all I am to you. And I was like, yeah, when are you going to get that through your head? Like, when are you going to understand that I don't need you. I like you, but I don't need you. And I was not, I remember somebody telling me once that loving me was like loving a cactus. That anytime you hugged me, you knew you were going to get hurt. um, and he loved me. He loved me through all of that. Through my meanness, through my spite. I was nasty. I was just mean, guys. Like, I might have put on a front that I'm always sweet and nice, but that's just not the case. I was, I was not nice to him. Not always. Um, Not even half the time. I mean, I think about the things that went on at home, and I don't know, I had this persona of what I believed I was supposed to be like versus who I really was, right? And I didn't know how to be who I was. I only knew how to be this other person. And I remember one day he we were kind of like, I don't want to say, we weren't fighting. We were kind of like, like pushing and shoving each other, and I was trying to get him out of my way. And he kind of pushed me up against the wall, like, to stop me, like, listen. And let me explain. This man's never been violent with me, like, ever, 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 ever. He's never hit me. He's never, nothing. In fact, he has never, like, I'm not going to say he's never done it behind my back, but to my face, he's never even called me the B word. Like, ever. I mean, ever. I think if he did, I would be mortified because he's never done it. And our daughter's 20. and it's never happened. I've known him forever, and it's never ever happened. But he kind of pushed me up against the wall, and he said, "Why won't you let me love you? I'm just trying to love you." And I just like, and he was just like, "I need you to understand that I love you." And I remember thinking, I'm pushing him away. And every time I push him away, I'm losing him a little bit more. And there was a shift in me at that time where I realized I need to stop pushing people away, and I needed to stop being mean all the time and trying to prove a point, and just be who I am, who I authentically am, and allow that love to be. And it's something I just couldn't do. No matter how hard I tried, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to love because I had never seen it. I had never witnessed it or watched it. I had never seen two people actively loving each other. I didn't know how. No matter how much I tried, I didn't know how. I knew how I loved my kids, but I didn't know how to love anybody else. And I can honestly say, after we split completely in 2006, I really took some time. What it was that I needed to learn to love me. And I think once I learned that I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of loving myself, then I can love somebody else. If you don't know how to love yourself, you don't know how to love anybody else. Period. You don't. People say self-care, self-care. It's not about self-care. It's about loving yourself. Doing things for yourself. Being there for yourself. Supporting yourself. Knowing when you need the support. You can't, when in an airplane they tell you first thing when the plane is going to crash, you have to put your own air on. You have to put your oxygen mask on first. You're no good to anybody else if you're not taking care of you. And that's the core. I think that honestly, after all of our years of turbulence and crazy life, and back and forth, because I genuinely love that man. In fact, I've said this before, maybe not to you guys, but period, I've said it. I didn't honestly believe after my two failed marriages that I was capable of loving somebody forever. I didn't think that I had it in me to fall in love with somebody and love them for a lifetime. And, I know that infatuation love, that doesn't stay. That's not the kind of love that sustains us. That's not the kind of stuff that takes us through long term. The kind of love that takes us through long term is an action love. It's a choice. And he was the only man that the first man, because honestly, I know I had that other special situation, but this one was on a different level. Not just because we have kids. It's not just because we have kids, but because we were adults, and we went into this, we didn't have connections in the city, we didn't have friends in common, we met on a whim, in a club. I always said you never bring home a guy from the club, that's just not what we do. But we met in a club, and and he picked me, he cherry picked me out of a group of girls. And I remember thinking, there's no way. I think I told you guys the other day, there's no way. I was like, you're the kind of guy that's going to get me in trouble. I can't. He has them light eyes. Sometimes they're blue, sometimes they're hazel. Oh my God. He has them eyes. And they mess with me. And he has a smile it just melts me. And there's, I don't know what it is, but I swear God made Hector for me. I look at him and everything in me is just yes, I can do that. I've never, there are times that I'm like, ew, he doesn't look, that's not his best look, right? But I have never not found him attractive. I've never not found him, somebody that I could look at and I could look at that face for the rest of my life. In fact, I don't know. Okay, so our dream is dead. It's over. There's nothing happening there. It's over. But I still believe, I guess if I'm going to meet anybody or date anybody or talk to anybody, they got to be on a Hector caliber. And if they're not, then it's just not going to happen. Sometimes I look at our daughter. I'm going to cry and I don't want to cry. Yeah, sometimes I look at our daughter. God, I can't even believe I'm crying. Sometimes I look at her and I think, that's eternal. Like, nobody can take that away. That's us. That's him and I. And I didn't tell him because I didn't want to upset him, but I was pregnant another time. And lost that baby. And I remember we were in such a bad place. And I was so angry at him. And when I lost the baby, I remember thinking it's because I was so mad at him, my anger. I know that God allows miscarriages, and sometimes you question why. And I always wonder, was that our boy? I don't know. He has a daughter, he has a son, but the rest of us are girls. And I don't know. I haven't even told him. I don't even know why I'm telling you. I didn't tell him because we were in such a bad place that it wasn't something that he needed to know at that time. It just wouldn't have been a good thing to share. And so, fast forward, obviously, I never really had a reason to tell him because it didn't matter. It wasn't here, and it was just something I felt like I needed to deal with on my own. And so we have our beautiful daughter, and that's just what it was. But sometimes I wonder what it would look like with the four of us, with an additional part of us. It's hard for me because I can't even intend to cry. I don't know why I'm crying. There's just so much there. There's so much emotion there. My friends, my best friends are just like, oh my gosh, Heck, this guy, we call him Heck, good old Heck, here he goes again. And they don't understand the tone. They don't understand the connection. I don't understand the connection. Honestly, I have prayed that man away like nobody's business. Prayed him away. Like, please, God, remove this as far as the east is from the west for me. I don't want to love him. I don't. He makes me mad a lot of times. I don't want to care. I wish him the best, but there's nothing in me that wants to care. And I think everybody knows that, even he knows. I did not intend to talk about him like this. I don't know why I'm crying, but maybe I needed to let it out. I don't know. I think that even he knows. Well, I know that he knows that I love him. I know that he knows, and he'll always know. That's never a question. I know that the both of us are extremely connected, and it doesn't always make sense. And we fought it. Both of us have fought it at different times of our lives where it's like, no, I don't want to care. I don't want to love him. I don't want to give in to this. I don't want to feed it. I don't want to fuel it. It's the wrong time. It's the wrong timing. We're in different states. We're in different places. We're in different places in life. We're in whatever. But I'm going to be honest. When I met him, I was still working in a strip club. I was still dancing, and I wasn't honest about that. I worked two jobs, one as a stripper and one as a CNA. And I did that because I had bills to pay, and I had a house to keep the roof over, and had a son that I needed to take care of, and a brother that still lived with me, and I couldn't allow things to fall apart. So I did what I needed to do, and I went back to the strip club after getting out of it. I was in it for 4 years. I got out and I went back, and it was an interesting season. And I remember him always asking me, like, where are you going, where are you going, where are you going? And I just couldn't be honest about that because I couldn't let him know. He had such a high expectation for me, and I didn't want to let that down. I didn't want him to look at me any differently. And I'll be honest, when the truth came out and all was said and done, and I remember him like just so mad at me and yelling, and we had this huge argument, and I remember I just shattered his world, and I never begged a guy like I begged him. I begged him to forgive me. I pleaded with him to forgive me. And I remember him just being so angry, and everything he would say, I would be like, I know, you're right, I know. And I never agreed with a man. I never let a man put me in my place or none of that. Up until that point in my life, if a man said something crazy to me, I'd pop that right back. And he would say something crazy to me, and I just cried and said, you're right, I know, you're right, I know. I was a hot mess, and I needed to own that. And I mean, I will never, I think I blame myself a lot for our demise because I couldn't get me out of the way early enough that I killed us. And I know, I mean, there were times he was responsible too. I'd get past that and then we'd move on, but I don't know that he ever really trusted me again after the initial stages. I really broke him. I really hurt him. And I know that I did, and I'm not proud of it. If I could go back and take it back and do it all over again, it would be such a different situation. So different. I remember him asking me one time, why didn't we ever get married? And I was like, you never asked. You never asked. And thinking, this is really stupid. That I was mad when he asked me that. I remember we were in Arizona, and he said, why didn't we ever get married? And I was like, because you never asked, stupid. I was mad. Like, how are you going to ask me a question like that when that's all that I wanted? If you would have asked me right then, I would have said yes. Like, right in that moment, I would have been like, yes, even without a ring. I wouldn't have cared. I never needed a ring. I never needed anything other than him. And he just couldn't give me that. And it drove me insane. Literally drove me insane. For years, I remember thinking, like, what's wrong with me that he's running around with all these other freaking stupid females who treat his children like crap, females who are cuckoo crazy, freaking going in and out of court and doing all these other crazy things, and here I am, trying to help him every step of the way. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's like when you give a guy help, they don't appreciate it. Like, it's like, I can't be more helpful. I can't do more for you. I don't know what more you want me to do. I mean, I don't know what more I can be for you, but I mean, obviously that's not enough. Loving you apparently isn't enough. You want more blood, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, I brought all of that up. I brought all of that up to say that he taught me how to love. He showed me he loved me in a way that I didn't love myself. And it made me question why. To the point that I had to turn around and figure out what he saw in me. What is it that he sees in me that makes me need to love me more? And so, in my turn, the time that I took to learn how to love myself, that included my education, that included, me focusing more on my health, me focusing more on what was going on physically with me. That went into my mental health, building relationships with my kids and not just allowing all of that stuff to fall wayside. I really made it a point to learn to um, love me. And in learning to love me, now I can love others. Um, so I will always credit him for that. I will always um, give him the credit for seeing me in the eyes that he saw me, and they were genuine. I remember one time I broke his heart. We were in a garage having this huge argument, and he was learning some truths about me, and my heart was broken because I didn't want him to know the ugly. I wanted to hide it all, so I would lie. Every part of me would lie because I just did not want to hurt him, and I did not want him to see me in my truth. I wanted to hide that from him. I felt like he didn't deserve to see my truth. He deserved better than my truth. And I remember he got emotional and he just looked up at me with these eyes and said, like, what is wrong with you that you don't love you? And I just thought, like, I don't know. I don't know why I don't know. And I mean, truthfully, you can't love somebody else if you don't love yourself. So while I thought that, I mean, I did love him. I had crazy love for him. I didn't love me. And until I loved me, I wasn't really truly capable of fully loving him. So it's one of those things where it just kind of stuck because now he saw me through painted eyes and through a dirty vision and not the way I ever wanted him to see me. Um, it's hard, but love is like that, and loving somebody long term is like that because you have to open yourself up and be vulnerable in a way that you're not with anybody. They're gonna know your ugly truths, and they're gonna see the things that you don't want other people to see. There's a level of intimacy there that transforms deeper than surface relationships. Hector and I know a lot about each other. We've loved each other for a long time, and while there are other situations involved, I could care less about all of that. I mean, honestly, it's for me. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that situation. I just know that I would always be willing to explore that. I would always, because it's my core. It's just a part of who I am. Yeah, I had no intention on talking about Hector today. I was going to talk about something else, but anyways, yeah. Gotta learn to love yourself, guys. It's important. Um, yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna cut this short today, but because I really didn't want to talk about him, and I'll talk about what I really wanted to talk about tomorrow. I'm still growing, and I hope you are too. I mean, I still learn new things about myself all the time. That man is forever in my eyes. It's sad to say it, and it sucks because truthfully no one wants to admit that, but he is. He knows it too. Maybe that's the problem, is that he knows it. He knows he can do whatever he wants. No, I don't think that. I don't think that. I'm just being sarcastic now. I'm being a little facetious. Anyways, it's Sunday, and it's sunny in Seattle. The mountain, I don't know if the mountain's out. I didn't look for it, but it's sunny. So go enjoy the sun if you're here. If you're in California and it's raining, I'm sorry. Enjoy it, because you guys need it. But a white car just pulled up. Look how much it, tailed me out. The white car. Crazy. Anyways, love you guys. Have a good day. Bye.